Thanks for the support as a channel member, Viantra. We can get cliche bingo cards out early today because we are officially a Jekyll and Hyde team this year. We're fantastic in the Champions League and could qualify for the knockout rounds on today's episode. But we're closer to relegation from the Premier League than we are to qualifying for next year's Champions League. Hello and welcome to part 120 of Bourne Again. I'm Kevin. Coming up on today's episode, we are at home against Manchester United in the Premier League, then also at home against Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Since you were last with me, and we played a couple more Champions League games, both against Zenit. We beat them at home and drew with them away, but we then proceeded to just continue to lose Premier League games, losing to Tottenham, Norwich, Stoke, Chelsea. We did manage to beat Swansea, but that is the only victory we've had in the Premier League since the last episode. So our Champions League group, ridiculously, looks like this, where not only are we in a position where on today's episode we could qualify for the knockout rounds, we could also knock out Bayern, which is mad. But they're only on 4 points from their first 4 games, knowing they've got to win their final 2 games to have any hope at all. And they're against us, top of the group, away from home, and Atletico. So they're done, I think, Bayern, unless they absolutely thump us. The Premier League, on the other hand, looking a lot less attractive. We're in 13th place in the Premier League, and we're back to looking at the Kev ratio again. I thought we were beyond all this. We are just ahead of it, 15 points from our first 12 games. And to be fair, the board are looking for me to just avoid relegation from the Premier League again. So Sir Mick Powell, as usual, very realistic about what our goals are. He knows how difficult it can be competing in Europe for the first time, especially if it's the Champions League, whilst also maintaining a Premier League presence. So I think we're going to kind of see how far we can get in the Champions League, mainly for the money that comes with it and the experience. Except we're probably going to finish mid-table in the Premier League, or if we get knocked out of the Champions League, we might be able to push on for a Europa League spot in the second half of the season, and maybe try and win the FA Cup as a little bit of compensation for a poor league season. That's the plan at the moment. First up, we're facing Manchester United, who are just a couple of places above us in the league, also having a pretty ropey league season. I mean, that's what they get for having former MK Dons manager Robbie Neilson in charge of them. But imagine being a Man United fan and that's the manager you've got years in the future. But this is our team. And I mean, it looks like a good team. It's just not playing well. And we are fresh off an international break, so it does mean that 2 of our stars, Da Silva and Cernajacki, have come back very tired. So we're going to save them for the Bayern Munich game rather than risking them today. And the other news, Sarmiento is wanted by Real Madrid. And unlike Cernajacki, who's now removed his release clause, Sarmiento has a £90 million release clause and is not interested in discussing a new contract. So Sarmiento might actually end up going, unlike Cernajacki, who's now got his new contract. No one else is interested anymore. We've got him tied down. But Sarmiento I'm worried about. Mira and Ricardo less so, because it's a much lower tier of team. In fact, it's similar teams. Leicester, Celta, Hoffenheim all want Mira, and Leicester and Hoffenheim, amongst others, also want Ricardo. I'm not worried about those 2 going, but it does make me question whether they should be in my Champions League team if they're not up to the standard to attract Champions League clubs showing interest in them. If we lost Sarmiento, we'd be in quite a lot of trouble. And you can see, I mean, there's very few players actually playing to the standard we'd expect this year. Arango and Regulus, both over a 7. Sarmiento's been very good in midfield. As you'd expect, Gomez, Cernajacki, Da Silva all playing well as well. But there's been a distinct lack of quality everywhere else. Diaz is also on a 7.04 down the bottom there. But it's kind of the rest of the midfield is where we're being let down this year. Mira, as much as I like him and I think we play better with him in the team, he's not managed to get up to a 7. And everyone in the attacking midfield, apart from Cernajacki, struggling. So Bellico, Ricardo, Cook, any other options we've got to go in there. Ariel, Gervin, Janino. None of these players are doing the goods. I mean, maybe it's time to bring Zimmerman back in, who I don't think I've even given Zimmerman a game this year. But then he wasn't great last year. We need the attacking midfield 3 to start performing. So, for the Manchester United game, it's Mazzinho in goal. A back four of Regulus, Keane, Henschel and Arango. Difficult not having Da Silva or Diaz available because of fitness and suspension. Sarmiento and Mira in midfield, and then Cook, Ricardo and Bellico behind Gomez up front. It kind of, if we're going to get anything out of this game, it kind of all is down to Christian Gomez today, because Cernajacki's not there. We need nice balls over the top from Sarmiento for Gomez to chase. We're a one-trick pony today, unless Bellico is actually going to turn up and show us that he is any good. He's certainly showing us the Arsenal version of Bellico rather than the Barcelona version that had that one good year at Barcelona and has never been any good for the rest of his career anywhere. It's troublesome. What's less troublesome is we have had our training facilities and youth facilities and all that stuff. All those upgrades have gone through. So we've got pretty close to maxed out facilities at the club now. I think we're there with our youth setup. We just need to go a little bit further for the training stuff, and I think data analysis is there as well. So we've got decent facilities. The ground is going to be finished in about 6 weeks' time, and then that'll be a 16,500 capacity. So off the pitch, things are going well. Champions League, things are going well. We just are rubbish in the Premier League, as showed again by Manchester United getting in and beating the goalkeeper they wanted to sign in the summer at the near post. And Mazinho's a better goalkeeper than that. But there's that Sarmiento ball over the top we're looking for. Gomez just not quite awake to it yet, which is a bit of a problem, because that he needs to be awake to those, because I genuinely think that's how we're going to get goals today. If we get goals, it's going to be that ball over the top. Sarmiento's definitely the man to hit it, and Gomez just needs to be there to chase it. So there's Sarmiento again looking for the ball over the top. This time, though, finds Bellico, who skips past his man. Penalty, surely there. Or it might have been on the edge of the area. We've gone over for the penalty review, and we have a penalty. So it's Christian Gomez with an almost immediate opportunity to reply to Manchester United and draw us level in this game. And that says it all, really. When Christian Gomez is missing penalties, that's when you know things aren't going well for you. Sarmiento across to Mira. Back to Sarmiento again, who looks for Bellico. It ends up with Arango, who has been one of our better players after his big money move in the summer. Cook can't get his shot away. It's ended up back with Arango again, who he's trying to draw a penalty, looking at him there. Mira, back to Sarmiento, who's going to switch to play back over to this side. Cook has got Regulus on the overlap and uses him. And inexplicably, the highlight just ends. And now we have a long throw, and it's Arango hurling it into the area. Gomez is there, and he might have missed a penalty, but he wasn't going to miss a chance like that. He loves the long throw. Normally, it's Cernajacki who's there for the first bit, and Gomez is waiting around for the flick on. But without Cernajacki today, Gomez has just got in there and seen Bellico's not going to do the Cernajacki job. Has just got in and said, right, well, I'll score then. For goodness sake. Where's Mitar? Get Mitar back. Cross comes in, and Mazinho is beaten easily. And that's just poor. We shouldn't be conceding set pieces like that. Let's have a look at it from the other angle. There's no excuse for this. They've got 3 players being marked by 2 of ours, and our goalkeeper, he's just caught in no man's land. He's not really come for the cross, but he's also not stayed back to save the header. What is he doing it? Mazinho's been terrible today. And now Arango's looking tired. He's another one who's come back from international duty tired. We have got Ansong on the bench to cover for exactly that. But of course, Arango's now picked up an injury. So we probably should have rested him in the same way as we rested the other guys who were tired after their international duty. We're going to look for something different in the second half. Ansong's going to come on and just drop back to be a normal wing back. Oh, no, not on attack. A wing back on support, please. There we go. Right. We do need something different in this second half. We can't be affording to lose home games against teams roughly level with us in the league, which is what Manchester United are. Ricardo across to Cook. Gomez is in again. Is he offside that time? I think he probably is. It was a solid finish, but he's been caught offside. And I want to look at the replay of this because he was very close, I think. So close, but was just off. But it's a promising start to this second half. Interestingly, the Premier League is going a bit crazy in the future here. Leicester, Burnley, West Ham, Stoke, all challenging for Champions League spots this year. After we were up there doing exactly that last year, far more of the bigger clubs seem to be falling in this save than certainly in my non-league to legend save, where at this point we probably had a pretty familiar looking Premier League top four. We've not got that in this version. Clearly, Bourne just messing everything up for everybody, even though it's not us up there this year. Right, what are we going to do to try and at least get an equaliser in this game? Juninho's going to come on the left-hand side. This is where Zimmerman could have been on the bench, and we could have brought him on there. Gomez. Right, I'm going to bring Cerna Jackie on for Gomez. We're actually going to stick Juninho up front, and Bellico's going to go over that side. And we're going to try this. And we're going to demand more and see if Cerna Jackie can come on and do something special to drag us back into this game. And it's Manchester United with the goal kick. Juninho's trying to chase down, as is Cerna Jackie. They're putting the defence under some decent pressure here, but they've just passed around us fairly comfortably. In the end, Ansong does well to win the ball back, and it's Sarmiento looking for that ball over the top again, finds Juninho, but he can't keep his shot down, and Juninho hasn't scored since the Bayern Munich game, however many episodes ago it was. Cerna Jackie with the in-swinger, Ricardo's there, and it's just over. Right, I want more again. Come on. We've got to have an equaliser in us. Bellico's pressured. Well, just don't play anymore then. You've not been very good. You're one of the new players who's arrived, hasn't performed. You're on a lot of money. I'm blaming him. He might be my scapegoat. We might just drop him. Talking of dropping, we're continuing to just fall down the league. Fingers crossed we can still keep our good Champions League form going and get this win against Bayern Munich. Because if we slip up now, I think we're in poor enough form in general to just fall out of the Champions League qualification bits altogether, which would be devastating after the start we've had. So big changes at the back for the Bayern Munich game. De Silva, Diaz and Ansong all coming into the team. We've also got Cerna Jackie back in on the right-hand side of the attacking midfield as we look to secure our qualification from this Champions League group. I think a draw gets the job done. I need to check the league table in a second. I think we're 6 points clear of them, though, with these 2 games remaining. Good luck. We just need 1 point to qualify for the first knockout round. Instead, I'm going to do the underdogs team talk because, I mean, it's Bayern Munich. It doesn't matter that we beat them at their place and we thumped Atletico. I think you've got to take into effect the form we're in currently. And, I'm not confident going into this at all. I feel like the wheels are falling off the season a little bit. And it might not be the worst thing in the world if we were to get knocked out of Europe, because then at least we can focus on the Premier League, because it's more important. But then we need the Champions League money, and we need to be a Champions League club to keep our bigger players like Cerna Jackie. Cerna Jackie's not going to stick around if we don't qualify for Europe this year. So there's the pressure of that as well. There's so many plates spinning managing a club at this level. It's very different from when we were down in Tier 10 and it was just about getting 11 players out there. Mazzinho has gotten Diaz out of a lot of trouble there. I don't know what he's doing heading that back towards the goal, but Mazzinho did a good job of keeping it out and then punches the corner clear. Mazzinho already seemingly playing better today than he did in the Manchester United game. Everyone seems a little bit more up for it again. Ricardo charging forward on the counter-attack. He's got Gomez in the middle. He tries to lob the keeper when the keeper's not particularly far off his line. So believe it or not, the ball went over because there was no other way that was going to work out. Bizarre piece of football. But we do seem to raise our game against the better teams and in the Champions League games. Bayern Munich, all uninterested. They're uninterested in a game they have to win to stay in the Champions League. It's so weird the way morale and player mentalities and things work in this game, because if they do get knocked out, so many of these players are going to get a grumpy on for getting knocked out of the Champions League, but they're here with an hour to go in this game against a team who are in terrible form, and they just have to beat us, and they're not interested in doing it. That's got to be offside, surely. Where's the referee? I need the little referee to turn up and say that's offside. He's not going to, is he? Rubbish. Oh. I mean, he must have been. Unless, is that Ansong playing him on? I think Ansong's played him on there, which is troubling. Right. Oh, now it's Bayern Munich. Corner, and it's hit the post, and it's bobbling around, and I think that was hit the post off of Regulus. So we've got away twice with 2 potential own goals so far, and then some poor offside play from Ansong. Oh, we just need an equaliser and we're through. If we lose this, it gets difficult. There's nothing to lose today. Go out there, give it your best shot. No. Let's give the fans a good performance despite being against the odds here. They're listening keenly. It wasn't a good team talk though. And as things stand, Atletico must be losing their game. So Zenit are beating Atletico currently. So as it stands, Bayern join us in the top 2. And we go into that final game where we play Atletico. I mean, as it stands right now, I think we still qualify. Backdoor Keving it, which would be interesting. Zenit may be doing us a massive favour here. How was that a free kick? It must have been a free kick for offside. I was confused for a second. I thought we'd given away a penalty when the little message came at the bottom of the screen, but it must have just been an offside decision from previously. Right, Diaz across to Da Silva. To Regulus. We've got to get a goal here. We've got to start turning into a good football team again. Sarmiento, that ball over the top that we were talking about before. Cook is in and can't get the crossover, but we have got a corner. So this is going to be your usual Cernajacki to Da Silva is what we're aiming for here. Cernajacki with the corner. There is Da Silva, but he heads it over from... I mean, he got himself into a good position. We're now all Zenit fans because if Zenit continue... If they beat Atletico, our result doesn't matter. It's not great when it comes to just trying to stop us being rubbish and stop the decline of our team, but at least we'd be qualified. Right, Gervin and Ariel coming on now to try and change things up a bit and help us get a goal. We're going to go attack him because we can't just rely on Zenit. They've just brought on a wonder kid. They've taken off a world-class player, brought on a wonder kid. This is the level of club we're playing against here. And there's their second goal. Oh, I feel like over the last 4 or 5 games in all competitions, since we drew against Zenit, it's really become clear how much we're struggling at the moment. It might be time. And I seem to reach this point in all my saves. I think I even talked about it an episode or 2 ago. It might be time for us to crack out the old 4-3-3. I just don't know that we've got a proper defensive midfielder. Can Mira play as offensive midfielder? Not very well. Can Sarmiento? No, not at all. We don't have one. That's going to be the problem. Right. I mean, we may as well just take off Gomez. Give Juninho a try. He scored against him before. You never know. He might get another one. And it's Bayern Munich again. And they've scored again. And I feel like they're getting their revenge on us here. This is more like what we expected this Champions League group to be like. Ridiculously, we could still finish top of it. Because, I don't know, is it head-to-head or goals or goal difference? We're still ahead of Bayern on goal difference because of when we thumped Atletico. Atletico now have an equaliser against Zenit. We're now 4-0 down, and I am now feeling it all slipping away because we play Atletico in the final game away from home, and Bayern have got Zenit. It could yet be Atletico and Bayern coming out of this group because we are rubbish. We are rubbish now. And just like that. Just like that. I mean, this is what this season has gone wrong. And it's only November. Well, when do we play Atletico? We're going to have to come back for that now. I mean, it's going to need a big goal swing because we beat them 5-0. But we have just lost 4-0 at home. Atletico tomorrow. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.